right, let's talk about one of those awkward things in business and what to do when a client's payment is declined or they default on a payment to you. Now, first of all, this totally happens. Nothing to be scared of. Things just happen in business like that. You know, people's credit cards expire, they get them stolen, maybe they're having a short month. There can be lots of different reasons why a client's payment defaults. But don't worry, I've got 3 very, very simple ways for you to elegantly and easily deal with this problem. Okay, tip number 1, and this is really important, take action quickly. Don't ignore it or think that the client is going to flag the problem to you. Sometimes they might not even be aware of it. So what I like to do straight away, as soon as a client's payment defaults, is send them an email in very, very brief, non-emotive and non-apologetic language. So it's not about going, oh, this is really awkward, but your payments, do you mind if you blah, 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 because it's just like, there's no boundaries around that. And actually, it could just be a really simple problem that they can fix up. So here's what I recommend that you say. Hey there, just to let you know that your payment has declined. Here's a link where you can fix that up easily. Thanks for taking care of this so quickly. That's it. Doesn't need to be long explanation like, are you okay? Is this okay? Just very, very simple, but you have to do it quickly. Don't let it go on and on. The second thing is don't be afraid to follow up after that first initial email, because first of all, they could be embarrassed about it. Maybe they're ignoring your email, or maybe they haven't even seen it. So it's worth sending those follow-ups really, really quickly again. And don't feel worried about, you being a bitch or you being pressured. They signed up to your product or service in good faith, and you've provided that product and service in good faith, and it's just money that they owe you, no big deal. So what I do, I've actually got an autoresponder sequence for 3 days where they get an email. The first one, your payments declined. The second one's, hey, just to let you know, you might not have seen our email yesterday, your payments declined. The third one's, hey, we've been trying to get in touch with you, your payments declined. And then we do another one at day 5 and day 7. Most of the time people see it within the first 2 days, but you have to do that follow-up. It's really, really important. The third thing is to be accommodating but firm. So if someone is willing to come back and say, look, I'm having a bit of problem paying with it, paying this thing right now, can I have a couple of days, or do you mind doing another payment plan or whatever? It's totally fine to be accommodating, but you also need to be very, very firm with them, especially if they haven't even come back to you to acknowledge the fact that their payment has bounced or declined. So in that case, don't be afraid to spell out to them what the consequences are of the action. I never do this in the first kind of week. I always wait until a little bit after that, and then I can say, look, this means that you're going to lose your product or service. Maybe you're a website designer, and it's like, well, look, this means that, I'm not going to be able to deliver that to you, or it means that you're going to be locked out of your account. Like, tell them what the consequence is. Maybe it is, if you don't pay within this certain amount of time, it goes to a collections agency. And again, this is not being a bitch, it's just being in business and having really, really good boundaries. So they're the 3 tips I have for you. And I've actually got a few little bonus tips as well that work really well. One is if you're using an email provider, say for example Infusionsoft or Aweber or MailChimp, you can usually send an email through that system instead of just sending it through your normal email account. The benefit of that is that you can see that it's been delivered, or you can see if it's been bounced back, and you can usually see if people have opened the email as well, which makes it trickier later on if they say, oh, I didn't get it, or I went to spam or whatever. You actually have that proof to see if someone's opened that email or not. So that's the first tip. The second tip is I really don't recommend that you do this communication yourself. As one of my mentors says, she's like, I want to be the good cop, not the bad cop. And you could get your assistant, you could hire someone just to deal with these emails, and they can batch them, maybe once a week. They just look for any default payments and start doing the follow-up for it. Or you can also automate them, which is what I do. Or this is another little sneaky trick as well, is, maybe you've got your husband or your partner and they can be the bad guy for you. And it's kind of weird. I've experimented with having females on my team versus males on my team have those follow-ups sent. And actually the males seem to work better. I don't know why that is. Give it a go. So there are the tips. I'd love to hear if you've got some other ones, or if you've got any questions or concerns about how this has happened for you in your business. But don't forget, you're here to make profit. It's totally safe for you to have boundaries in business, and it's totally safe for you to ask for the money for something that you've already provided. So have fun with it. It doesn't have to be awkward. And if you want any more tips about having a great profitable business and making more money, having great boundaries, come over to luckybitch.com because I've got some great resources for you. Have an abundant day. Bye.
Hey again, it's Denise here from Lucky Bitch, and this is Little Miss Willow Grace. Hi. Now, Willow and I are absolutely passionate about women in business because it doesn't matter if you've got kids or not, but I really see that having a business is your fastest way to creating a life of freedom, adventure, and abundance. Now, if you haven't already, I want you to come over and listen to a very important audio. It's probably the most important and powerful thing I've ever created for women. It's about the 7 money blocks that are really holding you back from a life of freedom, adventure, and abundance. It's really easy to grab it. You just need to go to luckybitch.com/blocks and you'll be able to listen to it straight away. I talk about things like how to get over working for free, or for people or not charging enough, or if you're stuck in a place where you're bartering all the time and not receiving actual money. So come over and I would love to hear your feedback on it. On the page, there's a little place where you can add your comments and you can talk about what money blocks that you're working on at the moment and what you're doing to get over them. So here's to all of us living amazing, abundant lives. See you soon. Bye. Bye.